What's up everyone, my name is Chris and welcome back to the Custom Cuts by Chris wood shop. I've been working on setting up and organizing my shop, and a big part of that is building this outfeed table, assembly table, workbench, kind of do-it-all table that's going to be the center of my shop. I'll have more videos on how I built this bench, but today I want to show you how I built the drawers that go in this. In total there are 17 drawers, and I wanted to find a quick and efficient way that I could knock them out, make high quality drawers in a short amount of time. If you've ever researched how to make drawers, you know that there are countless ways to do it. What I came up with was using this Rockler miter fold dado set. What it is a standard 8-inch dado stack, including your chippers, left and right 8-inch blades, and shims. But what's unique about it is this extra blade that comes with it, and that's the miter fold part of the blade. By installing this along with the dado setup in the correct thickness for the material you're using, it cuts a unique profile and allows you to fold up the joint, making a perfect 90-degree joint in a simple fashion. Before we go on, let me show you the 45-second warp speed version of the process. Then I will walk through the specific steps for setup and use. So to make a drawer using this setup, I'm using all 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood to make my drawer boxes. The drawer column that these are going in is 11 inches wide. My drawer slides each need a 1/2 inch. So my drawer boxes are 10 inches wide, and in this case they're 19 inches deep. So what we do is we cut a rectangular piece of plywood, in this case, the proper size. And how you determine that size is you take the outside width of your drawer. So in this case we're 10 inches wide. Our drawer sides are 2.5 inches. And we have two sides, so we take 10 inches plus 2.5 plus 2.5. So that's 15 inches for the width. And we have 19 inches plus 2.5 plus 2.5. So that's 24 inches. So we need a flat sheet of 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood that is 24 inches by 15 inches. And that's how we start. With the sheets cut, masking tape is applied to the back of the panel in the location of each cut. This helps keep everything together, as the miter fold cut leaves a very thin veneer that could easily break. The first step in setting this up to cut your miter fold joints is to determine the exact thickness of your material down to the 64th of an inch. Once you have the exact thickness of your material determined, you reference the miter fold setup chart in the instruction manual, and that will tell you which components in the set you need. So we'll need the left and right dado, of course. We need a 1/8 inch chipper, 1/8 thou shim, 1/4 thou shim, and of course the miter fold blade. When installing the miter fold set in your saw, regardless of the configuration of your saw's arbor, the miter fold blade must always be installed on the left side of the dado stack. And that's the left side of the operator as you're standing in front of your saw, ready to cut a piece. So in my case, the arbor extends from the left to the right. I first put in the miter fold blade on the left side of the dado stack. Then depending on the thickness of the material you're using and how many chippers and shims you need, you add those in. And lastly, you add the right side of the dado set. Now you want to make sure that everything is seated tightly. Those shims can fall down in the threads of the arbor. I hold the arbor in place, slowly turn the whole set. That ensures that those shims are not wedged down in between threads. You want to make sure you can get that washer on, and then put your nut on and make sure that that's fully seated. Okay, with the miter fold stack installed, I'm now going to make a couple of test cuts. I've set the height so it's the tip of the blade is about 1/32 below the surface of the plywood. I'm going to put a piece of blue tape on the top wherever I'm going to make the cut. Alright, now I'll make a pass and we'll see how it folds up. So this is the profile left with the miter fold blade. You can see it leaves a very thin veneer. You can actually see the light through there. And the idea is then you cut this on all 4 sides of your box, and that joint simply folds together. And that's a pretty good fit right there. It leaves a lot of glue surface, more than a standard 45-degree miter. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting some boxes. The distance of the fence to the peak of the blade is the height of the box side. In this case, I'm making drawers with 2-inch sides. I've got 4 total. I've already cut one and I'm gonna cut the last 3. So I've got the fence set 2 inches from the peak of the blade. I make a pass on this side, flip it around, make a parallel pass on the other side, and I'll do that for all 3 boxes that I have to cut. And then the perpendicular cuts, you have to flip the fence to the other side of the blade at the same distance. These first 2 passes I am showing you in real time. I take a nice slow pass, always keeping downward pressure on the workpiece. Push blocks are an absolute must here, and you should always have one directly over the blade to ensure a consistent depth of cut. On the second set of perpendicular cuts, it is critical to have one push block at the front of the workpiece to keep the front edge from flipping up or kicking back as it contacts the saw blade, since there is already a cut along the width of this panel. With the cuts made, waste is removed from the corners with a sharp utility knife. Now with the waste removed, these 4 sides simply fold up and will come together to form a perfect box. I'm going to drive pin nails after I apply glue. I'll be driving them through this face into this edge of the drawer. It has a bigger lip on this edge than over here, so that'll give me a good amount of material to nail through and hold these together while the glue's drying. And that's all there is to it. It really is that simple, and the result is consistent square drawers that go together extremely quickly. No method of making drawers is going to be perfect. There's a ton of methods out there. Everybody's going to have their favorite one. For me, I found this worked really well for shop drawers, though it does have a few pros and cons. If you have to make big drawers, that can get a little iffy doing that on the table saw. I had a little bit of trouble doing it with the bigger drawers. Ultimately got it done, but maybe it wasn't the best method to make those big drawers. Another potential downside, the bottom of the drawer is a flat bottom. There's no lip between the drawer sides and the bottom panel, as there would be with many types of drawer construction. That eliminates the ability to use a lot of undermount drawer slides that require that recess in the bottom of the drawer. I had planned on using side mount slides anyway, so it wasn't a problem, but something to consider if you're going to use this method to make drawers. Another potential con to this setup is the cost. This set costs about $350 from Rockler. Not a small investment, but I was already in the market to buy a good quality Dado stack, so I decided to go ahead and get this one, which does both. On the other hand, I found a lot of advantages to using this method for my shop drawers. First of all, it's fast and easy. You cut a piece of plywood that's the dimensions that you need. You make 4 passes over the miter fold set on the table saw, apply some glue to the joints, and you fold it up and you're done. Another big pro is you only have to use one size of material. I made all of these out of a little over 3 4x8 sheets of plywood without having to keep other sizes of stock on hand. Lastly, if you cut your plywood panel square and you make your cuts with the material tight against the rip fence, your drawers will come out square every time. I really enjoyed using this system to make these shop drawers, and hope this video helped you understand how the miter fold set works and some of the applications where it could be useful. I look forward to finding more ways to use it in my shop beyond just shop drawers, and will be sure to share it with you all when I do.